Hello everybody, this is Patrick Butler. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a rant, and no, this is not going to be a Rant Files video, because this is a follow-up to the recent video that I did. First off, I'd like to thank you very much, Frank, for sending me all the gifts that were in that last video. Thank you. This particular video is all about one of the gifts that you gave me, Frank. And the rant is all about Archie comics. Now, back in the day, I got this. Sonic the Hedgehog Art Cards Volume 5. The problem I had with this was the fact that this was actually pretty small. And actually smaller than the actual comic books that were originally issued. Because this actually collects issues 17 through 20. And the other problem with this particular book is the fact that the colors of the comic are actually off in these sets of books, which I was disappointed by. I wish the comics that were in those books weren't a little off, the colors. Now, the gift that you actually sent me, Frank, which was this, Sonic the Hedgehog at the beginning. Now, first off, I will say this. I like how big this book actually is. This is how you should do the archive books, Archie Comics. This is how you should do the archive books. Big, and surprisingly enough, thanks to this, the colors that are the colors of the comics are not off. Yeah, they actually look vibrant in this particular book as a result of the book being big. The colors are not off. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. And I like how big the actual book is. This is how you should put the archive books, Archie. Honestly. This is how you should have done it. Why didn't you? Now, I will say this. The rant is not about that. No. Because even though I like how big this is, and I like that the colors are not off in it, there is one huge problem with this. And you gotta thank Spaz for that. Yeah, Spaz is responsible. Spaz is responsible for the big problem that I'm gonna tell. Now, his full name is actually Nelson Ribeiro, because he's the editor. And of course, why not? The editor is the culprit. Now, this, and I'm going to describe this book. Now, this book actually collects the miniseries that started before the actual comic book of Sonic the Hedgehog started its full run. Because the thing about it is, Archie Comics wanted to do a test to see if people would buy the comic. And surprisingly enough, issues 0 through 3 actually was a success. So as a result, the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book ran, and it's still running. Now, the thing about it is, back in the day, Rotor was actually called Boomer. Do we get that in these issues, in this book? Like how it actually was? No! Because Spaz had to actually alter it! He actually altered it! So instead of Rotor being called Boomer, he's called Rotor! Nelson Ribeiro actually calls him Rotor in these issues, when he was actually called Boomer. And guess what the only time Boomer is referenced? In this book. It's on page 69. Look at that. Look at that. So Spaz didn't alter that. He didn't call that rotor. So that means that he had to alter the issues. Thanks a lot, Spaz. You're responsible for this. So instead of having the unaltered versions of issues 0 through 3, no, we get altered versions as a result of Rotor's name being changed from Boomer to Rotor. When he wasn't called Rotor in the first place. He wasn't called Rotor in the actual miniseries. So why change it to Rotor? Why? Why, Spaz? I don't get it. So as a result, we're not going to get the unaltered versions of issues 0 through 3 in here, ever. The only way to get the unaltered versions of issues 0 through 3, you have to buy the actual comics. You have to go on eBay to buy the actual comics to get the unaltered versions. Now, surprisingly enough, I'm a little bit jealous because Brian Wolmer actually has the issues unaltered. He actually has 0 through 3. He has the miniseries. The thing about it is, eventually I will be getting that miniseries as it originally was, unaltered. I have to do it that way because the thing about it is, this is not unaltered. This is not unaltered at all. Thanks to Spaz. All Spaz had to do was put in a disclaimer saying that Rotor was originally called Boomer in the miniseries. So for the sake of unalteredness, we're saying his name as Boomer in these miniseries issues. That's how it should have been. But nope, Spaz had to alter. Had to alter. See, sometimes I don't like alteration. Sometimes I like things being unaltered. At least this was. At least this was unaltered. This is not. Thanks a lot, Spaz. And that's what my rant is all about. So, if you want the unaltered versions of issues 0 through 3, go out, look on eBay, and actually buy issues 0 through 3 of the miniseries. Now, I still like this book, but I'm still disappointed. I'm still disappointed that Spaz had to alter this. Everything else is right, and most of the stuff that's in here is unaltered, except for one thing, and that's Rotor's name. Rotor was originally called Boomer, but it's not called Boomer in here. He's not called Boomer in these. But the only way to get the unaltered versions with his name Boomer is by trying to track down the comics. And you gotta thank Spaz for that. I wish this would have been unaltered. Fully unaltered. This should have been fully unaltered, but no. Spaz had to actually change that and call Rotor's name Rotor, even though he was called Boomer in the original miniseries. And that's what my rant was all about. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching, everybody. So that's my only disappointment with that book. I still like that book. I like how Archie Comics did it. I just didn't like the alteration. Because unlike the archive book, the archive book that I have, which is small and the colors are off, at least it's not altered. I wish this would have been unaltered. I really wish. The colors are not off. The size of the book is how it should be. But we don't get it unaltered. We don't get it unaltered. That's my disappointment with this. That's my only disappointment with this. Oh well, I gotta live with it. But I just wanted to rant about it a little bit. By the way, thank you very much, Frank, for sending me that book. I just wish it wouldn't have been. I wish it wouldn't have been altered, honestly. And I bet you're disappointed too, especially when you you heard from me that it was altered. You're probably disappointed yourself. Yeah, I understand, Frank. I really do. I just told you that it was altered. I just told you, thanks to Archie Comics and Spaz. Spaz was the one that was actually responsible for the alteration, mostly, not Archie Comics. I can't blame it all on Archie Comics, though. I will say that. I'm going to blame it on Spaz mostly. Hopefully Spaz learns his lesson from watching my rant about that particular book. Hopefully he learns his lesson. Like I said, I really hope that he doesn't alter any more books. I like things unaltered. Just like you, Frank, probably. I think you like things unaltered yourself. But that's pretty much it. Thank you very much, Frank, for sending me that book, even though I was a little disappointed with it, thanks to Spaz. But without you, I will say that, without you sending me that book, I wouldn't have known. I will say that. So thank you very much, Frank. And if it wasn't for Spaz, I bet you we would have gotten the unaltered versions of those issues. But, oh well, gotta live with it. By the way, thank you very much, Frank, for all of the gifts that you sent me. And I was surprised about quite a bit of them. So, I did have a good birthday, Frank. I just wanted to let you know. I should talk to you about my birthday. I'm supposed to be getting something pretty soon that I ordered. Hopefully that comes. And maybe someday, I don't know if you like me to get you stuff, Frank, but someday I'm going to get you stuff. So, don't worry about it. Right now, I can't do nothing. But I'd like to send you some stuff someday, Frank. I just wanted to let you know. Alright, everybody. That's been my video. And I'd like to thank you very much for watching. So, peace out, everybody. Oh, and by the way, Frank, thank you very much for the gifts. So, like I said, peace out, everybody, including you, Frank. And I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much, and peace out, everybody.